The next concept we're going to take a look now in your grade 4 course is number sentences. And how do you work with number sentences and actual numbers? Well, let's go and take a look at a few examples. This question says that we've got Munib has 6 marbles. We've got 6 marbles. So you could draw them 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We've got 6 marbles. Then he lost 2 marbles. So if he loses, it means we are reducing, we're going down. Lost means subtract. So if we had 6 and we lost 2, then how many do we have? Well, we've got 4. We could write that as 6 minus the 2 means we now have 4. Then it says Munib then found his 2 marbles. So what did he do? He then added these to what he had. Well, what he had now is 4, but then he found the 2. So we can add another 2 to the 4. So we can show 4 marbles plus the 2 again. So now we've got 4 plus the 2 marbles. We're back to 6. So Munib now has 6 marbles again. We can see that addition and subtraction are opposite operations. That is, when you add 2, you are increasing. What's the opposite of increasing? Decreasing or subtract. So minus means go the opposite direction. In this question, we started with 4, and then we started with 6. We lost 2, we got 4. Then we found it. So we had 4, we added back the 2, we got our 6. So the subtraction reduced the 6 down to 4, whereas the addition increased it from 4 up to 6. Let's take a look at another example. Here it says that Zanzi worked out that 63 minus 11 is 52. So if you take away or subtract 11 from 63, you land up with 52. But how do we check that's correct? Well, if we take the 52 that we now have and we add back the 11, what do we get? 52 plus 11 takes us back to 63. How do we do that? Well, this 5 refers to 50. This 1 refers to 10. What is 50 plus 10? 50 plus 10 is 60. What is 2 plus 1? 3. So 60 plus 3 is 63. So that's one way in which you can work it out. So Zanzi got back to the same number she started with, and so her answer is correct. Let's go and learn a bit about the concept of order and grouping when we're dealing with addition. Let's go and see if we can go and find an example. If you look at this example here, we know that 4 plus 6 equals 10. What would be the subtraction facts around that number sentence? Well, if we know that 4 and 6 give us 10, then we know if we start with 10 and we subtract 6, we get 4. Or if we start with 10 and we subtract 4, we get 6. So if you already know the bonds of 10, you can go and learn bonds of 20. What is 20? 20 is 10 more than 10. In other words, 10 plus 10 gives you 20. So can we go and do a few examples that make up 20? We know that 13 plus 7 will give us 20. What would be the subtraction facts of 20? Well, if you start with 20 and you subtract 7, you're going to get 13. Or if you start with 20 and you subtract 13, you must get 7. You can go and try to do a few by yourself. What would it be with 15 and 5? 15 and 5 gives you 20. What would the subtraction facts be for that? Well, you could say 20 minus 5 equals 15. That's the one option. Or you could say 20 minus 15, and that would get you back to 5. What about the number facts that relate to 100? Well, if you look at this, we know that 4 and 6 is 10. What happens if we make the 4 a 40? That would mean a 40 and a 60. What does 40 plus 60 give you? 100. So what are your number facts with 100? You could say 100 less the 40 would give you 60, or the 100 less the 60 would give you 40. Now you could keep going. You know that 2 and 5 is 7. What happens if we add 2 zeros? 200 plus 500 would be 700. What will be your facts with 700? You could say 700 less your 200 gives you 500. Or you could say 700 less your 500 gives you 200. So it's quite easy. These number sentences and bonds are quite straightforward. So what we learned there is pairs and grouping. To revise, if we've got 8 and we add 2, we get 10. What are the facts for that? We could say 10 minus 2 gives you 8, or 10 minus 8 gives you 2. Or we could start adding zeros. Instead of 8 and 2, we could say 80 plus 20 is 100. So then you could say 100 less the 80 is 20, and 100 less the 20 is 80. And you can keep getting bigger. You can say 600 plus 300 is 900. Or 900 minus 300 is 600. Or 900 minus 600 is 300. Go and practice a few by yourself.